everyone, Green Gemini here. Welcome back to Cities Skylines. Here we are returning to Cooperville and our next big adventure in this city. We went through in the last episode, started working on our downtown area, which seems to be filling in fairly nicely. I got to thinking about, what we have going on here, and, we've got our large density commercial buildings all around here, and then we have our skyline popping up over here, which I think is good. I think I may want to sprinkle in some of these large office buildings in between some of this, and then we'll throw some residential in here eventually too. But we'll go through and rework that here in a little while once we get some more demand up for that. The thing that I want to work on today is over here. We had talked already in a previous episode about putting in a rail yard over here, so I kind of want to see what that might look like. We're going to need to buy some more tiles, and we're also going to need to look at some natural resources. So we have... It looks as though ore over here, we have farmland here, but we have nothing over here. I mean, it's forestry, but we can do that on our own ourselves if we need to. But I'm thinking either here or like right in here is where the rail yard can go. So what we need to make sure of, so under trains and rail yard, we have to have a rail yard because before we can do anything else. With as large as this is, and with the way it looks to me, I've never built one of these before. So this is going to be brand new to me on doing. But I believe we should be able to have some sort of... If I end up putting it around, say, here, then I think that'll give us a good connection to and from the highway. That's right here. And then it'll also give us a really good connection to the train line. That's right here. And could potentially have the train go up this way, under this again, through here. There's some connections that we can do with this. The first thing that I need to do is we need to buy some tiles. The other place that I was thinking of putting it over here as well, but I feel like that's just going to be too far out of the way. But I think for the time being, we'll go ahead and do that. Our money, we're making $2.7 million a month right now, which is equating to $113,000 an hour. I'm not too terribly worried about money. I want to be careful about how much I'm spending, though. We want to be careful with that. But we'll go ahead and purchase all of that. So it just dropped us down to 110. No big deal. With that being said, the other thing that we will need to look at least with this and our resources, is we have this itsy bitsy teensy tiny farm over here. And we definitely want to utilize the rest of that land. But for now, we are going to work on building our rail yard. And as we're starting to work on this and figure this out, don't forget, you guys can go to my new company's website, the RPT Candle Company. We have launched a bunch of new scents. We are getting ready to actually launch here within the next... say 3 to 4 weeks. We're going to be looking at doing sample packs, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So you'll be able to kind of test them out, see what you like, see what you don't. We'll have a 3-pack at first, might build a 6-pack at some point. There'll be custom packs where you can build your own, and then there's going to be standard packs that will be coming out too. So rptcandlecompany.com is where you want to go. There's also a link in the description, and there is also a code that I will put on the screen so that you guys can get 15% off your first order. Well, no, not even your first order. You'll be able to get 15% off of your order. It might be your first order, but you can get 15% off. Visit the website, take a look, see what you like. All right, enough of that rant. This is going to have, so if we look, let me zoom in here. You can see on the right-hand side, there's a little road icon there. Okay, so that means a road is going to have to be butted up against next to this. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to put this fairly parallel to the highway. And then let's back it up just a tad. And let's place it down here. Now, this is going to be a total guess as to where this is going to go. But I would like to see... I'm going to keep the game paused. I would like to see this come out and connect to this in a T-section. And what I'm curious to know is, do we have pre-built intersections? No, we don't. We're just going to have to build our own. Which is fine. It's no big deal. Oh, okay. So double lane track. And I think it looks like we have single lane tracks coming into here as well. So we'll have to take a look at that and see how that's going to work. And then we have passenger trains that are in here. So we have a lot of different things that we can do with this. And like I said, I want to take this rail yard. This is going to come out probably and go under here, through here, and connect out to here. This is going to be our suburbs that is going to be out here. So this is actually going to align really, really well with the train, with the rail that's going to come along this way. It's going to give us the ability to have some train stations along this to get people moving in and out. And then that'll give us the ability to as well put in probably a couple of train stations here in the downtown area. So we've really got to think about, you know, with where we're putting this and how we're going to design this downtown area. So we can have extra tracks to upgrade. And then the other thing that we can have is a maintenance hall, which is $750,000. The extra tracks will go right alongside here. Don't really feel like we're going to need that, at least not right now. The maintenance hall, fantastic, is going to go on top of that stuff there. Okay. That works. When I'm looking at my downtown area here, and I want to look at, say, there's a train station, cargo train terminal, medium train station, and a small train station. We have a local train station, central train station, Mediterranean train station. It's way too big. So we have a lot of different options, and it looks like this is going to be very interesting to see how we fit this in here. I'm going to be real curious to see how we fit this in here. Okay. We'll do that later. First, we need to work on this. And the first step that I think we need to do is we need to get the rail connected coming in on both ways. So let me go back to, and that's the other thing too. We have, I'm not going to worry about that upgrade yet. Let's focus. I need to, you know, I'm squirreling right now. Totally squirreling. I need to go into here, and we're going to go into the double train tracks. Modern architecture. Huh. Interesting. Okay, turn that off. Give me that back. Okay. So what I think is going to be the best thing to do is let's just take this straight out. And then from here, I want to be able to try and get my angles in. Where are we going here? Okay. Now, with this being part of that bridge right there, so I think we're going to have to connect to this node. And then I'm going to come straight out to here. Hang on, that was how many meters? 161. So then if I go 162, so you can see where I've got my left number and then my top number. So that should be good. And then from here, I should be able to just click that. It's 159. That's okay. Oops. So that, how many meters is that? It's not telling me how many meters it is. Okay, that was 179. Let's go to there. Okay, the curve isn't exactly even, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I really like that. So that trains the abilities to come in here, exit here, or come in here, exit here, come in, exit. It gives the avenues of what we need it to do. And then I think the next thing that I want to do is we need to do just a small intersection coming off of this highway. That's going to be the tricky part. I'm wondering if... See, all of these intersections are just so big. I need something smaller. Oh, we can use this, actually. This is perfect. This will be perfect, because that's going to give us the ability to, okay. So we'll have the ability to have some roundabouts. Hopefully it'll be some light traffic that's happening in here. Let's go to our interchanges. And actually that's perfect. It's exactly where that needs to be. And then we're going to take our highway. And it's literally just going to connect right up. This is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Now, what I do want to do, though, is we need to build this to be a little bit bigger. So let's upgrade these a little bit. And then I also want to upgrade, we're going to do a 4-lane highway that comes off of here like that. And then as I've learned with this, I think that if we do a 4-lane medium road that just goes straight along, then we'll take our highway that we had, 4-lane highway, connect that to there, just like that. Then we'll go ahead and put a roundabout in here. I think we'll go ahead and do a medium roundabout. Uh-oh, I can't because that's in the way. That's a bummer. I can't do any roundabouts because of that. You know what? That's all right. That's all right. I'm not going to worry about that. What I do need to figure out, though, is that we have this coming in 2 different directions. What I'd like to see is... So I think this just needs to come up and over and then down into here. I don't remember. I kind of want to stay asymmetrical here. I want it to be not asymmetrical. I want it to be symmetrical. 160 is going to be that refund. Well, let's just do this. I want it to be symmetrical. I want it to be even. I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm also thinking in this area over here, this needs to be, this all needs to be residential. And if I have a 2-lane highway, ooh, here's the idea. Okay, so 2-lane highway coming straight off this way. Okay. This is a 2-lane medium road coming down this way. We're going to continue, I'm sorry, the 4-lane. We're going to continue the 4-lane down to about here. I'm going to have it go to here. Well, let's go up with it. So that's 56 meters. Sorry, 55.8. I'm going to continue going across. And we're going to go back down. And there's my 180 degrees overlapping object. Okay, so that's going to have to go away. To there. Okay. So this is our main road that's going to be coming through here. What I'd like to see is this continue on this way as well. The highway is going to turn into a 4-lane road. This goes 156 meters from that point. So with that, wait, is that from this point? Yes. So 156 meters, 90-degree angle. 152 is close enough. So we'll create that node there. We'll go ahead and replace that. So then let's do that. So then we have our direct cutoff from when it goes from highway to medium road. And then the next thing that I want to do is we're going to need to connect the electricity back up. Okay. I'm going to end up having a road that comes off this way. This is going to end up being, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. This is going to end up being the start of our neighborhood that we're going to have. So we'll have a nice little district that's going to be up here. More than likely, you know, it'll be like the people that live over here are going to help, you know, work in this rail yard and what have you. Let's see. Okay. And then the next thing that I think I want to do is I also want to get, this is an odd thing that's happening here. I have a power station that's out here, which means I need to have this coming off this way and connect that back up to there. This does not have access to water and sewer. Okay, because we are not connected. Okay. So that means this needs to come up to Let's have it come up to here, connect to that, and then you can connect to there, I think. That's not connected. That is not connected. Not understanding why this is not connecting. Okay. That should do it. Oh, actually, I don't even need to connect that because that's connected to it over here. Okay, I think we're better. There's no electricity. Got it. All right. Electrical cable. Can have that connect underneath to here. Is that... Oh, that's on top. I need that below. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I have to hit page down to get this to connect underground. Got it. So if I go there to there, that will be fine. And then we can go ahead and delete this. Oliver, don't you dare. He's getting ready to bark again. He's been doing pretty good today. Okay, there we go. Now it has electricity. Got it. So what happens when we are in these rural areas where the stuff doesn't connect to the highway. It's fine. All right. Now that we have our rail yard, I don't really feel like the rail yard is going to do much for us. I mean, but it might. We'll see. We have 30 employees, efficiency 106%. Money is still fine. Vehicles in use is 0. Public transport vehicles operate on the transit line. Set them up, to set them up. The number of vehicles is automatically changed based on needs of the line. Selecting a vehicle. Okay. So really what this does is it just kind of helps us with the trains that we need. So I kind of need to make sure that I've got, you know, all of the train lines and stuff connected together. What this allows us to do now... My computer wants to work. Thank you very much. Hold on. Come on. So we can go ahead and upgrade this to have a railway connection. This does not want to work very well for me. So we'll get that on here. And of course, the rail the rail connection is over here, but it doesn't come out this way. That's okay. That's all right. I am fine with that. I like the way this looks. We definitely have a drop off like right here. So I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and soften this. Ooh, I don't want to soften it that much. Hang on. There we go. That's better. Okay. So we've got that softened. Let's go ahead and get... Sorry, here's what I need. And then I think what I want to do is I kind of want to... Is that a single rail? Yes. So two-way rail connected. Go forward a bit. And then I'm going to take this and curve it that way. And then I'm going to continue the curve to about... And that's 80 meters. 80 meters. I want to be about 135 degrees, I believe. Then I want to take this. Hang on, that was 146 meters, so we want to go about the same here. And we're going to do the same, probably. Ooh, that's too tight. Curve too tight. Okay, there we go. Come on, we're almost there. We're almost there. 142. There you go. It's going to make for an interesting intersection right here. I like that. Okay. So now we've got... Oh, wow. Look at that. That's fantastic. Okay. We had people walking on the rail tracks. Why? Why? Why is that a thing? Interesting. Okay. So now we have a direct connection to our cargo harbor using the Railyard. Now, if we look at the path of this, so you've got the Railyard that's going to come out here. It's going to come this way, come around this way, and it's going to come into here and then swing around, and then it can go out from there. Now, do I need to... Do I need to create a connection? Let's see, passenger railway, yeah, cargo railway route. I need to cargo train terminal. Okay. So a large warehouse where cargo trains can unload and load from... Okay. Here's where I'm not entirely sure that I want this, though. Because I already have it here. But am I not allowed to... Just out of curiosity, we're going to go ahead and put this down. There. But I think then what I need, what I can do, so I have a cargo route, and if I go from here to here, right? I mean, it's not going to be able to do so. But then I should be able to go, let's see, I disconnected that. I should be able to take this from here to here. No. To here and back. Okay, so with that being said, I don't necessarily know that that is going to be correct. Create a new route starting here. But don't we already have... Yes, that route is already going on. So that route is happening. To where it's going from there, it's exporting out to there. The thing is, though, is that we also want to import things. Like, we're using the cargo hub to import, but we're also using it to export. So we should be utilizing this to get things to go out as well. So there's no vehicles, apparently, to this right now. Let's see, there are currently no vehicles available. Consider building more depots to gain access to a larger pool of vehicles. Okay. So I don't really feel like that's necessarily what we want to do. I mean, that's why we also have the cargo hub here, which can be utilized. The thing with this, though, and with the position that it's not in the best spot. Because we don't necessarily want to have cargo coming off the highway and onto here, right? This is going to be a means to get industry that we're going to build out here to here without having to go all the way over there, which is going to be fine. And then exporting the goods out that way. I think if I want to say if I get, for the record, this is all brand new to me and we're learning together. Okay. We're going to take this and we're going to connect it to here. I'm going to take this and connect it to there, like so. Stops to... Okay. A track connection. A track is required for trains to reach this location. Okay. That's because we have trains that need to go into here. Okay. Things are making a little bit more sense. So I think what I'd like to see is I'd like to get this to come straight out. And then I'm going to take this and go into there. I'm going to take this and go into there as well. All of this is going to be connected at one intersection. This is one very, very messy junction. That's awful. That is absolutely horrible. We're not going to do that. Absolutely not. It also doesn't help that the graphics I have on here right now are not that great. I think one of the best things that I could do actually is let's take this and combine it into that one. We'll take this one and we'll combine that into there, and then this one we'll go ahead and combine into there. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and buy more tiles. As much as I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. Because then what I'd like to do is take this, which is these two, and we're going to go ahead and get it to go up, and we're going to go over this way to connect into here. Let's take this out, straight line. I'm going to go 240 meters. We go back to a curve. We're going to go back and over. 231 meters. Let's go 227. That'll be... Oh, nope. Not what I wanted to do. Okay. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. Okay. I thought it was going to work. It's not going to work. Go back to that. I'm gonna go 152 meters that way. Hang on, which way am I going here? And then we're gonna go 135 degrees, gets me to go in that direction. Perfect. Okay. So then where does this curve start again? Okay, I think my node is about here. And I want to go, how far did I say? 240. Come on. The curve is not too tight. Here's, okay, hold on. We're going to need to get rid of that, is what we're going to need to do. Now that we have this established. Duh. Okay, it's 236. All right, so 210. Come on. 245. Okay. Oh, I like that. Look at that. A nice little bridge that has formed there. Okay, so that gives us a connection over here to this side. So trains can come along this way, go that way, and then we're going to go up a hill. Ooh, okay. And then down a hill that way. Okay. We'll go up and around, and then this is going to go straight that way. This will be interesting to see what happens. Let's go back to that. Let's put it on straight. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go under the highway. Nope, that was not down far enough. Hang on. So we're going to go, I need 180 degrees, please. So 119. No, I think 163. Let's go back just a little bit. 142 meters that way. I don't need to be under too far, really. What did I say? 142? Back to, come on, 180 degrees. Thank you very much. Let's go 140 and that'll be fine. This, ooh, this might be a little tight. So that's 71 meters. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that. But it worked out beautifully. All right, let's take a quick look here. So the trains will come down through this way, enter the tunnel in, go under the highway, up and around this way, into the rail yard. That is gorgeous. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Okay. Oh, now we have all of that connected. That took a while. It did. That took a while to do. But I'm not sad about it. I'm actually really, really happy with that. We have it coming up through here. So let me pull back a little. And let's take another quick look at what we've got going on. This cargo rail terminal is not going to stay here. It's definitely not. That's going to move. When I look at what we've got going on here, I can definitely put a passenger rail train station into here. We'll be able to put another one probably down further on the tracks this way, and then an additional one over here. We have a rail that comes this way, so we'll be able to put more suburbs and everything over here. We can have suburbs through here with another rail station coming, or a rail line coming through to give that connectivity. What I would like to see... Look at that. That's just beautiful. It's so nice. Okay, we have trains moving now. Haha. Now the question is... Wait, is this... Yeah, that is a cargo train. So this is the cargo harbor, which we have a train coming into.
Pending updates to our power grid, the city will be experiencing rolling blackouts.
And then we should have, let's see, view details. So we have 2 vehicles being used. Line usage, 10%, 251 tons. Okay. So we have this train coming out. We have another train coming in. So that'll help for now. What I want to see is, where did that train go? Here it is. So I want to follow this guy. Oh my gosh, look at all this traffic coming into here. This is insane. I mean, we're up to 48,000 people. Like, we've got a lot of people coming into the city now, which is fantastic. We're making so much money. We have a train network now in. I really just kind of want to follow the train through the landscape and kind of see like where it's going, how this works, and everything else. Because I've not seen how the trains work in here yet. But I love this. So we have a train coming in, train coming out, just like it did in the other City Skylines. So we have that connection there. And then this can give us the connection of, you know, do we have goods coming in? Do we have goods going out? We're importing, we're exporting. We have the 2 shipping routes. We have our cargo train. Line usage, 2%. But what we will be able to do with this, think about what we're doing here in the city. And the cargo hub that we have set up, we can actually utilize that differently, say later on. Say we want to move goods from the cargo harbor over to an area over here via rail, to be able to take trucks off of the highway. And then from here, it can disperse into whatever we have in this area. So we've got to think about that going forward. We already have the ability to have the passenger train stations that I was talking about. We'll do that. But then, say, for instance, we're going to have, you know, we're going to need cargo that's going to need to come into these areas too. So it's going to be better to have a cargo terminal, say, like right smack dab here in the middle of something rather than trucks going all over the place. But that's our rail network. That is us setting up our rail hub, our rail yard. We've got one connection, not the best connection, but it's connection. And then we'll just kind of go from there. I only put this down to get us our, you know, line taken care of. So that is all I have for today. So questions, comments, concerns, put in the comment section down below. Again, visit the RPT Candle website at rptcandlecompany.com. get your 15% off with the code that is in the description below. And then the next episode, we're going to start looking at this downtown area here, seeing what we can do now that we have our rail yard to add in a train station in here for passengers. So instead of all of these cars coming in, we can have people come in by rail. Because we have got, oh buddy, do we have a lot of traffic. So we've got to figure out different avenues to get people into the city aside from that. And what I'm thinking is because we've got this main road here that's going to come down through. And if I look at our train station, it's a pretty decent sized train station, let's be honest. And if we have it right in this area here, this could put a start to our hub for lots of things. Transportation and everything. This could be a really good central area to do that in. So we have our high-rise buildings here. We need to get some more public transit in with some connectivity. If I'm looking at this, I know I said I was done, but I'm not done apparently. I just want to take this and have it come straight out. Just to kind of see what this is going to look like. Don't need cargo in here. Medium train station, I think, is too small. Central train station. Now that's something to think about, but still, that's not going to be good right here. Possibly over here. So the rail is right here. So the rail would need to... Ooh. Ooh. Hang on, I'm thinking. I have oohs going here. If you do a regular train station, this could actually go on this side. Or you could do it on this side. Either way, I feel like the trains are going to end up going underground to connect to this. I'm going to have to think about this. I'm going to have to think about how I want this to look, and I'm going to have to think about where the rest of the roads and everything are going to go with the buildings that are going to be around it too. But that'll be in the next episode. So something to look forward to there. We're going to have lots of fun with trains here, it looks like. Loving it. All right, questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comment section down below. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.